Hi, my name is James Musetti with the Hospitality Management Program here at Colorado State University. And today we're going to be making some Valentine's Day chocolate gifts. Chocolate bark is what we're going to be making today. And I love this recipe because you can do so many different things with it. And it's so easy to make. We're going to start off with some dark chocolate. We have some white chocolate. And then we have some nice actual little nonpareils in the shapes of hearts and sprinkles, some crushed Valentine's Day Oreos, and some Himalayan pink sea salt. And so the reason why I have the chocolate split up into two containers is because we're going to actually melt the chocolate in the microwave today. And this will make it really nice and easy. And what we're going to do is get this chocolate hot, but not too hot. And then we're going to cool it down to what we call working temperature with the chocolate that's still cold. So what we're going to do is put both of these in the microwave for 30 seconds at a time. And we're going to kind of check on how the chocolate looks after each time. Okay, so you can use full power. Just want to put it in there for 30 seconds until the chocolate starts to melt. And we don't want to get the chocolate too hot because once you do that, the chocolate changes texture. And it'll start to curdle and it'll smell like it's burnt. It just won't be good and you won't want to use that chocolate. That's when you'll want to start again. But going in 30-second spurts makes it pretty hard to do that. Usually it takes about, for this recipe, 1 minute in total in the microwave. Once we're done the first one, we just kind of take a look at it. And you can see we still have some solid pieces. We're not quite melted yet, so we're going to go ahead for another 30 seconds, but you can see on the bottom we're starting to melt just a little bit. Okay, so our chocolate's starting to melt. In fact, the white chocolate's pretty much done. As you can see, there's a few chips on the top that haven't completely melted, but most of it's melted. If we put this in there any longer, we might start to burn it. But the dark chocolate can go another 30 seconds here. Okay, so we have our dark chocolate nice and melted. Same thing, we're going to start stirring it here with the spatula. And this is about 10 ounces of dark chocolate in total, so I have about 5 ounces that I melted, and I'm going to add another 5 ounces to this cup to finish melting and cool down the chocolate. I'm just going to add it a little bit at a time while I stir it and let it cool down. And it's going to take on this really nice sheen. And you want to make sure you get all those little chip chunks out of there so that way there's not chunky when you go ahead and spread it on this parchment paper over here, or this wax paper. Very good. And what's nice about this chocolate bark is you don't really need a recipe. You can use any toppings that you want. You can use nuts, dried fruits. You can even go for savory flavors and do maybe add a little maple syrup into the chocolate and bacon or even some bourbon. That would be my favorite. Coconut, cherries, that's another favorite of mine. I always like to put a little bit of crunch in with the chocolate bark, so that way you have some contrasting textures, especially if you're going to use dried fruit or anything real soft. The crunch today in this one is actually the crushed up Oreos, and all I did to crush those up was I put them in a Ziploc bag and just used my hands to crush them up in the bag, and that was it. No knife or cutting board or any of that stuff. And I also like to use sea salt because I think the sea salt with the dark chocolate really makes the flavors pop out of the chocolate, and it really intensifies it. So, once I have my chocolate melted, everything ready to go, I'm going to go ahead and pour the chocolate out on the sheet. Just in one big pile, and then I'm going to use this spatula to go ahead and spread it out. And you can make the chocolate as thick or as thin as you would like. I like to make it pretty thin, so I just go ahead and spread it. Just like so. And it's really up to your preference how thin you want to spread it or how thick you want to keep it. Okay. I'm going to take a little bit of this white chocolate and I'm actually just going to do my best Jackson Pollock impression here and just kind of swirl it all around just to create a nice contrast and color as well as a little flavor. White chocolate is just the cocoa butter that is in the chocolate. So it has a really rich, creamy, buttery texture to it, is how I would describe it. And while it's still warm, what I have here is the Valentine's Day Oreos. These are actually just a strawberry Oreo with a nice pink filling. So nice Valentine's Day colors here. Then I have some of the nonpareils, the sprinkles. I'm going to go ahead and just put a nice hefty sprinkle of those on. And then I'm going to do a little sea salt, just a pinch, not too much. We're going to go right over the top of that. Okay. And then I'm going to finish with a little bit more white chocolate on the top. And voila, you are done. Now all you have to do is let this cool. You can let this cool out at room temperature. It'll take about 15 to 20 minutes. Or you can put it in the freezer or the refrigerator. It'll take a lot less time, maybe 5 minutes, 10 minutes in the fridge. And then break it up into nice pieces, and you're ready to go ahead and impress. When it's all done, this is what you'll have.